creative though. On the rise vertically, working like I ain't made it though. This is for my people. Locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching. Nails trying lock and keys. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge all cash. We was talking about the dream, dog. We heard y'all laugh. Now they talking about the team and I heard y'all last. I could never take the credit. I prefer all cash. Look, laughing at the crib cause I done turned into a bank. Probably turned into a mogul before I turned into a saint. Was just a man on his grind and I turned it into great. Turn my struggle into hustle and you know I'm getting paid. Let's go.
What's going on, family? What is going on? This is Dr. Jake Taylor Jacobs. Welcome to the Private Banking Society show with Nick, Iggy,
what's happening,
and Mogul. And the purpose of the show is for you to think of it more like a podcast, not a podcast. The whole purpose of the show is to be able to teach you banking, business, finance in a unique way so you can apply the information to your everyday business so you can change your family's lives. Mogul, what we got going?
So we have our word of the day, and the word of the day actually goes well with our first hot topic, which the word of the day is egregious. It's an adjective meaning extremely bad. The football player paid a hefty fine for his egregious behavior on the field.
Get your egregious kids away from me.
It is egregious that it took me this long to get my first book.
It is egregious that these lamb chops killing that.
Well, oh, geez, they got me in here.
Wait a minute. Wait, all I see is a hat and teeth. Look at that.
That is egregious.
Your lighting is egregious.
Chad.
Wow,
You go like this.
just a yellow hat and teeth. The gold chains.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah.
I'm looking good. I'm still a real person,
that was
y'all.
egregious.
Well, we're going to go into the first hot topic, which is the Cash App founder passed away from a late night stabbing.
Dang,
Bob
that's
Lee,
egregious.
Very egregious. Bob Lee, Cash App founder, an executive at a cryptocurrency firm, MobileCoin, died after apparent stabbing wounds in San Francisco on Tuesday. There is no one being arrested currently. There's no suspects. But we just want to say first, rest in peace. Sorry for the family. We pray for your family and whatnot. But going back into knowing who Bob Lee is, he was in 2000s worked at Google and also helped create Android. So he's not just some random dude. He's been a pretty pivotal person.
You know too much.
Yeah, basically. He know more than he should.
This is what I'm gonna say.
I'm scared.
This is like a mukbang business finance show.
Mukbang.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Mukbang. So here's the deal.
Wait, what?
Mukbang.
Here's the deal. Cash App just was making the transition to becoming a bank. Full merchant, full bank, full payment processor, full transfer account, attached to crypto. It was about to get too powerful. And I find it quite ironic that not even a full 24 hours later, FedNow, what's it called?
FedNow. Yeah, I think that's what
It's called FedNow. We're actually going to talk about it.
Has launched. Now let me tell you something. I don't care. Not about the family, but I'm talking to the feds. I ain't got no pool. But what I got to say is, in order for you to stab somebody, you have to be angry at them, and you have to be close to them.
Yeah.
There had to be somebody that infiltrated his circle, that was able to be a part of his trust, to be protected where nobody knows who it was.
At 2:30 in the morning.
At 2:30 in the morning,
Look,
by himself,
That's wild.
at a hotel.
look.
That's egregious.
So, yeah. You don't find this suspicious?
You don't find this
suspicious.
Because
Conspiracy.
as of December 2021, Cash App had over 70 million users. So I say that to say, Jake, if On a base level, 70 million users.
Don't bring me in this.
No. Just I'm for your expertise from a business perspective.
Okay.
70 million users. If you gave it a like baseline, what would you say? Like, what area would those, if they were making X amount of dollars per user, what area you think they would be in as far as like evaluation of a company based on just that in transaction? It can be ballpark.
A public company?
I believe it was. It was Square. It was bought by Square. So just ballpark. I just want to kind of
by itself.
Yeah.
Let's say they made $30 per user.
Mm-hmm.
$30 per user times how many?
70 million.
70 million. So that's somebody do that math.
I'm done. I got you.
I think that's that's $2 billion a year.
Yeah, 2.1.
Yep,
Well,
2.1.
$2.1 billion a year. That's of let's say that they netted. You talking about $10-20 billion company?
So we talking about net worth for him as a founder, as well as other things, having assets over $1 billion.
But it's not about
it's not about that. But what I'm talking about over $1 billion. Now, I say that because they said he was outside of his hotel. Mm-hmm. Jake, when we move around and we not nowhere near having a $2.1 billion revenue, nor are we at a $30 billion eval, right? Mm-hmm. But outside of our hotel, when we staying at a hotel that's gonna be well lit, have cameras running for security. Yep. And we're gonna move around with just our circle, very cautious, creative, so that I promise you that if we somewhere and something happened to one of us, somebody gonna have a story to tell about it. Yep. So the fact that he's at this stature, this status, and he outside of his hotel where he chose to stay, and they have no leads, no understanding of who did it, it's kind of suspicious because of his status,
find that suspicious?
His status, his revenue, what he's contributed to the world, to the economy. We're talking about Android. With his operating system that is the biggest competition to Apple.
And we don't know what licensing deal he has on back end yet.
One, Cash App on the verge of becoming literally their own bank. So he not just your regular Mojo, just your regular Billy Bob down the street. Right. This guy, like, he know how to move around. He been moving around. He not just anywhere. So for him to be in a space outside of a hotel that he chose to stay at, and there to be no leads, no expectation, no security footage.
Right. No cameras?
No cameras.
Was he
cameras
dropped
everywhere
off there?
It was outside of his hotel.
Happened outside,
yes.
or was he dropped
Outside.
off?
It was outside of his hotel.
On the street
Are
already.
they in your
the-
recordings?
Exactly
So
what
how
I'm
do you
saying.
know he wasn't dropped off?
That's what I'm saying. Based off the story that they're telling, outside of his hotel, we have no footage. Which, based off how I know we move,
Well, this is what I would say though. The reason that we move the way that we move is because we understand the risks. We understand the risks that we face, not only from our own people, but from opposing demographics that don't want us to impose in
Correct.
the industry. What I have noticed with uber wealthy people that I've been blessed to kind of be around, they all hang out kind of together, and they have like this invincible, don't need security, walk by myself. As long as I'm in these wealthy areas, I'm fine because everyone else is wealthy the same way. I just find it kind of strange. I don't know if paparazzis follow him, but usually, even though celebrities hate paparazzi, they love the safety that paparazzi brings because at least you know that someone's always snapping a picture.
Yeah.
So what I do find strange is that someone of his stature didn't have some type of paparazzi following him to provide, that type of security. They don't move like wealthy black people move or rich black people.
yeah,
They move free. They've been around wealth all their life. Everyone they know is
but like
uber wealthy.
you said, moving around in places that you know are secure.
Yeah.
So there to be no footage, not a glimpse, not bro. We didn't seen footage from Miami. Regular folks get shot up but no footage whatsoever. No paparazzi.
Are they just
no
not
security.
releasing it, or are they saying that there's nothing?
They've said that there's nothing and they have no leads. Is what they're saying. So I'm just going based off the information that's out there. They said they have no leads. They said that they have no footage. Not that they holding footage to be released, but they have none. So with all of that, and then the timing of everything, especially what's the next hot topic? It's kind of strange. Go ahead and carry us into that one, Mocha, because
so as we know, like I said, Cash App was a big thing. People were doing business on Cash App, unfortunately. But now FedNow, which is created by the federal government, I actually did some research on it and looked on their website. The Federal Reserve Bank also literally says they're not responsible for any of the information on the FedNow website, basically saying, like, yeah, we look at it, we know it's here. We're not going to update it. We do update it. It is what it is. But you take what you get from it for yourself. But basically on FedNow, they said that they are every interaction or digital money that we have. So anything that you do with your plastic, your card, it goes through them first, then it goes through the merchant, or goes through them first, then goes to the bank. So they literally control all money digitally, unless you're doing like crypto and things of that nature. It also is in their fine print. It's a program. It's programmed.
Yes, programmable.
So meaning,
I'll talk about that.
They don't. Okay, we'll let Iggy go into that more. But it's programmable, which is a very dangerous thing for the American people.
Yeah, talking about what happened with the Cash App founder and yesterday, and that being like big breaking news, and today the news being that the Federal Reserve has a technical solution that pretty much provides the same thing. It's kind of strange, but
They don't even give it like no time.
like they say, like I think it's like July. Yeah, no time whatsoever. Like it is what they. I'm gonna stay away from that.
Yeah.
So, but what we gotta look at when we talk about where the conversation is surrounding where people speculate and believe things are going. So I don't know if you guys have heard the conversation or been a part of the conversation around the central banking digital currency. So it is a currency that the central bank is talking about producing and having for us to be able to utilize. I don't know if you guys know, but federal buildings and locations no longer accept cash. Right. So when we look at going to a digital currency, when we're talking about moving in that direction, the first thing that you will need when it talks about infrastructure is a processing system. Mm-hmm. So them bringing out this processing system, talking about that this is going to launch, lets me know that they are absolutely serious about shifting what's going on with the currency. And then we talk about what's going on with Russia, what's going on with China, what's going on with the U.S. dollar. If you and I'm not going to get into detail. I'm just kind of giving y'all some dots to connect. But you absolutely have to have a payment processor. If we talk about what's going on in this other country in a dollar again week, if we go to a digital currency, then now we can control that. But Mogul mentioned something that was key that most people, I believe, will look over, the fact that it's programmable. That's the part that I'm really like, because imagine when they talk about being able to program your money. Let's say that you get a speeding ticket, right? And your speeding ticket is for X amount, and as additional punishment for that, they say, well, you can't be outside a 10-mile radius of your house to spend money, and they program your money to not be spendable outside a certain radius. Or if they say, hey, this is what's going on, you can't buy ammo, or that you can only spend this amount of month on groceries, or you got until this date to spend this money, otherwise it expires. There's a lot of things that they can program into the money. I don't want y'all to get this confused with cryptocurrency. It has similar attributes, but it's not the same with cryptocurrency. Once it's launched into the blockchain, it's there. I can't go in and change it and reprogram it. The coder can't, the developer can't. It's locked into the blockchain. With this currency, they can program it to do whatever it is that they want it to do based on characteristics, based on attributes, based on you personally, have it as a punishment if you commit certain crimes. They literally be able to control where and how you spend your money. And in order for them to do that, because that's a conversation, you need a processing system for that to be able to funnel all the transactions through. And as well, this minimizes not minimizes, but this gives you the opportunity of where there may be other countries taking advantage of you financially. If you funnel all your currency through one space, then you can monetize based off those misfortunes as well. So that's kind of my take, but I'm gonna let y'all connect the dots where y'all want to.
Like it.
Nah.
It don't sound cute.
Nah.
You know? I don't like it. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Great explanation, Iggy. I agree.
I have, so I'm not sure anybody knows, but I've been to Christian school since I was in 8th grade, right? So reading the Bible, they always taught about Revelations, blah, blah, blah. It gives you the mark of the beast for me. Revelations 13, 16, and 17. Basically, it's saying that, and no man might buy or sell save that he has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And this kind of gives me that experience, mindset of like, they can control everything you do and you have to go through them no matter what it is. You can't go here, you can't spend your money here, you can't receive money from here, you can't talk to this person and get money from there. It just gives me that because it just puts that in my spirit is what's going on here. I'm not sure if you guys can correlate to that, but that's what it's giving me.
Yes, I agree. I definitely think that we are in the midst of certain things producing themselves based on biblical
this is
writings.
This is, I hate to be the I told you so, but the reason why, y'all know, the reason why I have nothing to say is because I've been teaching the same thing for nearly a decade about private banking, building assets that it doesn't matter the currency. That whatever the new currency is, your business is not built on trends. Having a system of optimization, surplus, growth, saving reserves. Having your go-to, I will never touch this reserve. Like, there are certain reserves that it doesn't matter, especially after what we experienced. It doesn't matter how bad the company gets. I won't touch those reserves just in case we need a bailout, a legitimate bailout, to be able to really either get us out the country, maybe get us somewhere else, maybe relocate us. Like, this is the concept of private banking. And everyone made private banking, they commercialized the concept of private banking. They made it a product. They made it a thing. They made it marketing ploy. They made it something that it's not. And I just don't feel sorry for people that's heard my voice over the last near decade, private or public on social media, that did not listen to the warning signs. I told everybody, I projected that the economy would take a major shift, and what's going on in the market, in the public bull market, our crash is going to be 10 times harder than our bull could ever be. Especially talking about a 10, 12, 13 year bull run. What is the natural habits of human beings that think they're untouchable because they go through a decade, 12-year, 13-year run where they feel untouchable?
They get sloppy.
Get sloppy, you bully people around, you have a lot of ego, pushing people. You're buying your way in rooms that you would never get in if you didn't have any money. You're throwing yourself around, your weight around. And the people that get bullied wait for the moment that you got one little chink in your armor and they're coming for everything that you have.
Yeah.
And here's the piece about financial literacy and financial independence that so many people miss. We think that financial independence is driving your dream car. Financial independence is in your biggest house.
Damn.
Financial independence is in the clothes or the jewelry that you have. That's not financial independence says when hit the fan, can I get me and my family out of here, protected, and have enough capital to start us fresh somewhere else?
Yeah.
Without having to start from scratch like we had nothing prior to.
Facts.
And so, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I've written 6 curriculums.
Sorry, not sorry.
I taught you how consumer debt was the #1 cause of death in America, and why you needed to make sure that you didn't over leverage because a wrecking day was coming. I taught you how to build your companies from scratch. I taught you how to launch your businesses and your brands from scratch with limited capital and then growing from there. I taught you the concept of private banking. I taught you the process of shell corporations and trust and moving things here and using your private banking system like a business ecosystem so that you can be able to separate yourself from the market.
Let's go.
And now we're teaching you how to build and buy companies from scratch so that you can be able to get yourself in a position just in case your family is in a position where you got to move.
Talk that talk, Doc.
So I don't feel sorry, Iggy. I'm sorry.
No, I feel you.
I don't feel sorry when I have over dang near 1,000 pages of blueprint of what to do.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah, and
but I'm not sorry.
I'm gonna veg back on top of that. This is not your opportunity to be in fear. This is not what. This is not that opportunity. Your opportunity now is to take action.
Yeah.
What is it that you're going to do? You can sit here and be in fear and become a part of the chaos and the confusion and the misunderstandings, or you can get access to information. You can buckle down, get access to a community so that you can figure out what action you are going to take in order to move forward. Because what's going to happen is going to happen. I'm just going to break it down to you like that. What's going to happen is going to happen. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
I will also say, bring some type of comfort. You can look at any situation in your life and understand any major situation, turmoil, trial, tribulation that you've gone through. You're now able to talk about it. And what you understand is no matter how bad it gets, the worst never happens. You can always identify where it's worse. So knowing that truth, buckle down and figure out what action you need to take to be able to move forward. Don't be like the masses and get involved in the fear and the fear mongering, because some people are using this information to target people like you, to put you in fear, to put you in confusion, so you don't take any action, and then you be left on the down and out when things move forward. This is an opportunity for you to say, okay, even if you didn't take action on any of the curriculum, if you haven't gotten access to the private banker, or you don't know anything, you haven't taken any action, this is the opportunity right now while you're hearing my voice to make a decision to take action. Some of you will hear my voice right now. Some of you will understand what I'm saying, and you will still choose not to take any action. Yeah. That's fine. But you have the opportunity to. Some of you listening right now, you're making the split decision to be able to move forward and take action based on what we're talking about, what Dr. Jake's talking about, what's inside the PBS Dollar Club, what's going inside the Private Banking Society, and are doing this for your family. Either one is fine with me, but you have the opportunity. I say this all the time. I don't want you to listen to information that we talk about and then we share and feel like we're fear mongering, because we're not bringing anything to you to bring fear. We're talking about situations that are going on, hot topics, but we also bring real solutions that are proven. So it's up to you to figure out what it is you're going to do to move forward and take action. You can be enveloped in the fear, or you can take action so that you can control the narrative of your future and your family's future. But that decision is ultimately yours.
And
what we got
straight
next?
Facts. And now we are in straight facts. We are going to go let you know that only 63% of businesses continue to be profitable after C19. According to the Gadding Financial, only around 41% of companies experienced a negative change in business operations since the C19 pancake-demic. Only 63% of companies overall were profitable in 2020. So now you see why a lot of the places that you once thought or you could go to are no longer available. They're no longer there. One big place was in Dallas, at least, was the Big Ball. You know, there was a restaurant in there, and they went down and never came back.
That's crazy to me, though.
And people were like, they were booked out for 6+ months type
Yep.
thing. So to understand that not just because they're big or have a name doesn't mean they're doing well, and that's in any and everything. But as we go past that, we want to go.
So wait. You saying just because somebody big, they got a big name, a lot of people know about them, and they brand presentation is prestigious, that doesn't mean that brand is, I mean, that business is healthy and doing well?
It doesn't matter if you have a back end fail.
Go ahead, Moga. I was just bringing clarity. I just needed understanding. That's all.
That's true, but we're going to go into one of our favorite portions of the day, which is the business analysis of the day by Dr. Jake Taylor.
Oh, this Dr. Jake's part.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, we moving and grooving today.
Yes, we are.
I like it.
The only business analysis of the day that I have is that on April 20th through the 24th,
Let's go.
we are teaching a 4-day, 3-hour-a-day masterclass teaching families how to buy and sell your businesses for maximum profit. That's what we're doing. And throughout the entire journey of my career, and I said this earlier, you can look at my life through the curriculums that I've written. I wrote my curriculums, Nick, Iggy knows, for my children.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was scared that if I passed away and done amazing things, my wife and my children couldn't keep up with what I created, because I was so in the thing, I never stepped away to leave something that could teach them the thing that I was doing.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that we start getting extremely involved in our black and brown community. And I began to realize that the thing I was leaving for my children was actually something that could help move the culture forward. Because there are so many people who talk like they're experts and they walk like they're experts, but experts know how to put their thoughts to pad and are able to defend what they talk about and what they've done in literary work. And I wanted to be able to leave my children guide points and steps. And I thought it would be great to be able to also leave clues and a blueprint for ours. So when I started to want to get out of my financial situation, Iggy, when I started to want to get out of my financial situation, I started to study the commonalities between stress and debt. And in this first book that I wrote, We Are Sick, Surviving Financial Cancer, I realized that the 4 stages of physical cancer are the same 4 stages of anxiety, financial cancer, that people go through that ends up breaking our bodies down.
Crazy.
And when I began to do more of a deep dive scientifically, statistically, physically, and emotionally, I was able to tie that there are 4 stages, just like 4 stages of cancer. And what I realized was consumer debt was like cancer.
Yeah.
It's the #1 cause of death in black and brown America. Consumer debt. When I realized that, I began to master the game of money. So I wrote a book to teach people how to master the game of money. Then I went and built my first 7-figure company. And I realized that there was a blueprint that I was able to amass from building this company from scratch that I felt could be transferable to other businesses, specifically in my industry that I was in, but I thought that it could be able to be transferable to other industries. So I created the blueprint. This blueprint is the same blueprint that we use every time we run every business. So we created the blueprint. Then when I realized that there was an art to launching brands, launching businesses, launching companies, launching products, I can have the blueprint, but if I don't know how to launch it, there's a code, there's a system, there is a process. And if I could systematically engineer this process, I could get the same result every time.
Yeah.
So then we create the 6 steps to creating a winning, indestructible product and brand. And then after that, I began to practice this concept of private banking, past insurance. But private banking is more than just the concept of putting money inside of a policy. Private banking is the way of living to be able to be self or codependent on your own financial ecosystem, whereabout you don't need to depend on any outside income in order to sustain your family's needs, wants, and desires. And the only way you can do that is if you're not under the pen or the thumb of anyone that can come and change your family's ecosystem because you owe them something. Scripture says that the greatest among us will be a servant of all. So I said, let me write what I'm experiencing and teach people this concept that I'm mastering so they can be able to do it. But scripture also says that the borrower will always be a slave to the lender. And I said, wow, do you know how many wealthy people that I met? Do you know how many wealthy people that I met? They were on top of the world until they couldn't pay the world that they financed.
Sheesh.
Let me look at the camera. Do you know how many wealthy people I know and that you know that were on top of the world until they could no longer pay for the world that they financed? So they borrow to keep up the lie in the facade, and you never get that Sabbath-like rest and peace that we're supposed to live in. The reason why so many men or people of masculine energy die so young is because we take on so much responsibility that we were never supposed to take. So I teach you how to build your family. I teach you how to set up your corporation. I teach you how to lend. I teach you how to store your capital. I teach you how to process the concept of reserving and multiplying your capital with private banking. Then when it came to understanding that there is more to just that, now I got to protect that with a trust. Then I got to use shell corporations. Now I got to teach how to diversify my income and diversify my investments so that I can be able to protect my stronghold in case anything were to happen. When our company took a $3.5 million loss.
Million. What was the time period?
Not opportunity. We lost $3.5 million in 45 days.
Cash.
Off something that was not my fault.
Wow.
Cash.
If it were not for us being diversified in such a strategic way, I would not have been able to weather us through a deep storm. We would have had to bankrupt the company, although we were debt free. I would have had to hide and go get a job, although I don't remember the last time I had one. But because we practiced private banking, we had trust and insurance policies, and our capital was in other businesses and all these other things, guess what? That's why we created the hybrid banker, the challenge. To show people that, listen, there is more to just insurance in building one business. You got to understand the multiplication of thereof, which led us to this: the buy, build, sell, and repeat. This is the concept of buying companies that already exist, because the odds of starting a company from scratch and getting to $1 million are against you. However, I teach in this concept with Iggy how you can actually acquire multiple companies that never cost $1 million in revenue, build a portfolio and sell it for multiple millions of an exit, although those companies never made $1 million single-handedly. See, there's a strategy when it comes to building wealth.
Yeah.
And when it comes to what we do and how we do, Iggy, I like to say, proof is in the paper. We show what we do, and then we write it in curriculum, and then we teach it to the people for them to be able to execute it for themselves. That's my business analysis of the day.
Hey, Mogul, guess what?
Yes, sir.
I got a book coming out.
Hey.
Hey, Nick, guess what? I got a book coming out.
He's no longer
Jake.
He's no longer a furu.
Jake, I ain't no, I'm not, bro. I got a book coming out.
He's no longer furu.
I got a book coming out.
I just want to say that I'm proud of you, man.
You proud of me,
I'm
Nick?
so proud. I'm so proud of both of y'all. I'm so proud of us, the whole team. You know what I'm saying? Like, man,
Hey,
it's
cheers.
a good time to be here.
Cheers.
It's a good time to be here. And shout out to everybody who's watching because
so
man,
the beautiful thing that I love about all the curriculum that you just described, what I love about this is that all of this was done after the concept was proven. Mm-hmm. This wasn't like
sit on that.
This wasn't some hypothetical thought of how you could do it. This is not some, okay, this is a possibility of maybe it might work out like this. No, this as well as all that other curriculum is based on proven. So we did it and then we wrote about what we did. We didn't write about what we could do and then go and do what we wrote about. No, this is all based off being a practitioner. It's all based off knowing what it was we do, figuring out where the ups, downs are, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, what we thought would work, what didn't work, going through all that process, figuring out what works, and then putting it into a guide to show you exactly what you need to do. Now,
the number one question though, Iggy, is how can they get the book? How can they get the guide? Where do we go? What do we do?
So everybody who's inside of the PBS Dollar Club, when we finish up this live stream, they will be able to access the 4-day live training because look, it's not, we're not just giving them say, hey, here go the book, read it, figure it out, make it work.
Yeah.
Nah, we don't do stuff like that. Mm-mm. So with this, in the beta pre-launch of this book, what we're doing is we have a 4-day live exclusive training, right? And this is available only for people who are in a private banking society. That's it. No, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care who you know. I don't care who your daddy is. I don't care none of that.
Yeah.
If you're in a private banking society, you have access to you have the ability to access the 4-day live training. Right? It's going to be at a super discounted. All 4 days are going to be 2-3 hours plus giving context on this. Yeah. So by purchasing access to the 4-day live exclusive training with myself and Dr. Drake, you will get a digital copy of this absolutely free with your purchase to the 4-day, because we want to teach you what it is we did, and we want you to have a guide to go along with it. So while this is absolutely in detail and a step-by-step guide, we wanted to give you context. Nick, you know we got a problem with that. Yes. We got a problem with making sure we explain, over-explain, and re-explain everything that we say. And you guys have had the opportunity to make sure that you understand the context of this book. You know how sometimes you read something and you like, dang it, what if I could ask the author what he was thinking about right there? Or if they could explain to me why they wrote it like this, or why they positioned it like that. That's what that 4-day live masterclass is. If you want to know exactly what we've done to be able to buy, build, and sell businesses, you want to be a part of that 4-day live masterclass. Again, you'll have access to it inside the PBS Dollar Club, inside the Private Banking Society. Once we're off this live stream, I will make a post inside of our community, because we got our own community, and it's we closing in on 2,000 active people, and then inactive total, we got about 4,000 people inside of our community. And this is what it is we teaching. This is what it is we sharing. So you got the opportunity to get access to this new book from Dr. Jake and myself, absolutely free with purchase to our 4-day live exclusive training only available to people in the PBS Dollar Club. Some people gonna be out here selling a whole bunch and doing a whole bunch, talking about buy it on Instagram, but you can't buy this unless you inside of the Private Banking Society, because we want to make sure that you know exactly what we're talking about. We want to know how we get down, and you got to be vetted to get this information. We ain't just giving it to anybody. You got to be vetted. And the way that we vet you is you becoming a part of our Private Banking Society. Shout out to everybody who's in there, but y'all, my book coming out.
And they will be able to ask questions live and get real-time answers, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do that. You know why? Because my book coming out.
All right.
Oh my God.
Let's go. Mogul.
Well, I did want to add a little something to that. A wise man just once said,
If he don't got a book, I don't want to hear it, because I got a book coming out.
he said, there's a lot of thought leaders out here, but they ain't got no thoughts in books.
Ooh.
Hey, I said that.
You're the wise man.
You are the wise man.
Not today, I guess. Yeah, so here's the deal. There's a lot of thought leaders that don't have any thoughts in books. Think about that.
Ooh.
So we're going to go into Iggy's favorite portion of the day. And it is smash or pass.
Smitty smash or pass.
And right now we're going to talk about you're just now starting a business, right? We have 3 topics. The first one is getting a loan from the bank.
If you're not in a space of acquisition where you're trying to buy companies and move forward and have not proven yourself or proven your concepts or proving your strategies or proving your knowledge, then that is a fail. However, if you have already done all this and you're looking to scale up and you're in the acquisition phase, then you can kind of court the banks a little bit, see what they're talking about. But just to say you started a new LLC and you want to go get $50,000 funding, that right there, my friends, is a pass.
Pass, I agree. I'm not. Everything bank right now, I'm kind of turned off.
Fed now.
Everything that has to do with bank.
They the feds.
When I was younger, I was absolutely against banks overall. As I get older, I think that everything has a place. When I was younger, I was against all things guns.
Me too.
But as I got older, I find an appreciation for some type of leverage or protection.
Yeah.
Leverage.
And what I realized was, whether it's made for ill will or good intent, anything used out of moderation and in excess can harm you.
You can drown in a lot of water.
Yeah. Too much of anything can be detrimental.
Will drown you.
So what I would say is, when trying to acquire another company, I would consider debt or raising money if you already have a thesis that you can lean on, that you know you can actually get out of their worst case scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't leverage capital for best case scenario. I would leverage capital after I formulated worst case scenario to know that at worst case, I know I can still cover this.
Yeah.
And still move forward. So as
I'm
I'm getting older, I am maturing. But what I will say is that for newer entrepreneurs that have no expertise, that have no understanding of your industry, and don't really understand how to execute, even if you're using it for marketing. If you don't have a clear-cut plan where you're getting at least $3 to $6 for every $1 that you're investing of your own money, I wouldn't get capital. If you don't have a clear-cut plan on how you built your business and customer acquisition and getting higher quality employees and knowing exactly how to find top-tier leaders and executives, I wouldn't borrow money. Because if you say, listen, I want to borrow $100,000 to go get high quality executives to help me grow my business. Well, if you don't know how to vet those executives to know if they actually know how to grow your business, you're borrowing money from the bank only to just give money to somebody that's not going to grow it. They got the money and you're left with the bill. So in all things, get an understanding first. Once I have a clear understanding and I've worked through all of the kinks, the tests, and the trials, then I can capitalize. And what I would say is capitalize with as many creative options as you can first. But at the end of the day, I would much rather take the bank's money than a bad partner who invests to get equity and then don't do anything. At least the bank just wants their money back. They don't care about equity of your company. In most cases. I want it.
Dig that. What we got next, Mogul?
Next is hiring a marketing agency.
Uh,
And this is
Can I ask a
just
clarifying
starting
question?
a
No.
business.
No question. Just answer that question.
well, if I can't ask a question, that means I gotta give it an answer that's multifaceted.
Oh Lord.
Ask the question.
Please
But
just ask Mogul.
okay. So if you saying that like we're hiring a marketing agency, I do have to know where the company is in like their experience and their growth. Like
Just starting.
they just starting and they talking about hiring a marketing agency.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fail. The reason being, and this is coming from somebody that owned their own marketing agency and that used to I depended on getting clients. And I'm telling you, this is a fail if you're just starting out, because you more than likely haven't had the time to really understand your target market, what their problems are, what other things they're interested in. This is important. Understanding their affinity, meaning what else are they interested in? I was talking to one of our clients today, and he was talking about a potential deal that he had on the table with a Fortune 500 company. And he spoke with me on that deal to present some paid advertising aspect from my expertise, right? I talked to him today and he was like, it wasn't a good brand fit. They didn't even understand what was going on, how it was going on. It didn't make sense. When it comes to hiring a marketing agency, you have to understand your target market, what their affinity is. On that call, the person who was representing this Fortune 500 company in this position wasn't even aware of the other markets that were open to them based on their affinity, and didn't even really understand what affinity is. So that goes to show you that just because they working for a Fortune 500 company mean they know what's really going on. And if this is too much for them at that level, you just starting out, you got to know your target market. You have to have the infrastructure in place to be able to fulfill whatever results that marketing provides. Y'all may have heard me use this example before, right? There's a company that I did pay advertising for, and I do probably once a year, because she refuses to get to a place where her infrastructure is together. However, she producing sales, 6 figures a month. She's doing that, but she has a lot of waste in the back end. And when I advertise for her, when I run paid advertising for her, I only really get like a month and a half, 2 month like window to run advertising, because I'm bringing so many sales to her, so many customers to her in that span of time. She like, yo, look, I need to stop. I got to catch up. So if businesses doing 6 figures a month in revenue are having problems with fulfillment, you should absolutely not hire a marketing agency just starting out until you're able to do the marketing yourself, so that you can understand what you're hiring out. Mm-hmm. If you don't understand what you're hiring somebody for, if you're hiring somebody, an agency especially, to tell you what it is that you need to do and you don't understand it, you're not ready for them.
Right.
You're not ready for them. If you don't understand what the agency is sharing with you that they need you to do, you are not ready to hire them. Because if you hire them and you don't understand, I promise you, in some form, shape, or fashion, they will take advantage of you.
Well, it's not really about taking advantage per se, because I don't even want to say that.
I got you from a marketing agency person.
Well, let me just say this.
I got you.
No, let me say
Got
this.
to.
Because I don't want to take away from credit from people like you and Nick that ran marketing agencies solo with integrity.
Yeah, I get that.
There are wolves out there that's going to take advantage of you. However, when you don't know what your product, what your market, what your flow is, there is a cost that you have to pay for research and development.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is so many small business owners don't know how much money it actually takes to find that right customer with the right system, with the right product offer, with the right copy in the right way to produce the right result to get the right profitability margins, right? So that's all a testing period. So although when you hire somebody and you give them a blank canvas, here's my product, can you sell it? It may take me 9 months to test this product, to find the right one with the right price point in the right market, coupled with the right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be able to really start being profitable for you. So it may look like I am taking advantage or you're taking advantage of me. But the truth is, you're always split testing until you find the right formula, which honestly, if you don't already have the formula, takes 6 to 9 months realistically to really feel comfortable as the marketer or the social media strategist to know this is your vibe, this is your flow.
This is what I mean. Reason being in the position of having a marketing agency and running it, this is why I have to say that as far as people taking advantage, because even in that, I'm somebody that will articulate, look, it's going to take this amount of time, and based on what you're looking to do, this is not there. But there are a lot of people, and these are people in today's market. There's not too many people that do what it is I do that I don't know. And a lot of the people that I do know, big names and all, will take the understanding that it's going to take about 8-9 months for me to execute on something, and they will lock you into a 3-month contract. And they will take you for whatever it is they can that 3 months in that contract, knowing it's going to take 9, but they don't have the integrity to articulate that it's a 9-month process. They just banking and locking in and you in that contract to get you for that 3 months. And because you don't know as a business owner what it is, and that because if you understood more about what it is happening in marketing, you will already come to them to present what it is. Okay, I've done this, that, and the other in these markets. This worked. I got sales here. I didn't get sales when I did that. If you don't have that in your bag to articulate to a marketing agency, whether they want to or not, they're going to take advantage of you, because if they're a younger agency and they in a place where they're just going to get the bag, they're going to take your money, and then they're going to be in the process of doing it and figuring out that they got to do a whole lot more, and they may not know how to tell you that they only told you that it was going to be this, but it was going to be that. And if you are dealing with somebody who knows it's going to be a longer term, and they peep that you have no clue what's going on, I say this because I know a number of people who have done clients wrong, locking them into 90-day contract. Yo, it's gonna take 90 days for me to figure out anything.
Yeah, right.
And you done pay $5,000, $2,500 a month for 3 months for them to tell you, yeah, look, you ain't received nothing on it. So when it comes to hiring a marketing agency, when you first starting out, you better know exactly what you hiring them to do. Otherwise, you're gonna be in a position where you're vulnerable. So I'll retract and say that they and I won't say they'll take advantage of you, but you will absolutely be in a spot where you're vulnerable and you could be taken advantage of.
Now, what I will say as an entrepreneur, when I've hired people for certain positions within the company, and I didn't really know what entailed that position, I've absolutely paid 7-10 times more than the market, thinking that what they did was more valuable than what it was, because I had no true understanding or knowledge base on what the market rates actually were.
And as the person
so
paying, say you thought you was doing the right thing.
I thought I was doing the right thing.
Exactly.
And they didn't tell me
exactly
nothing. And so I think there's an old saying that says the man with money meets a wise man with none. Typically, the wise man leaves with the fool's money, and the fool leaves with knowledge.
Yep.
And so you're going to pay the school of knowledge in some form or fashion. That's why I don't ever take anything personal when it comes to what I've learned in this marketplace. Yep. But what I will tell you is this is why we teach y'all in the private banking society to at least have an understanding for the 12 skills. Know what it takes and how long it takes to do certain things. So one, you're able to pay people what you believe they're actually worth. But two, that you're not getting bust over the head because you think that they're more valuable than they are. So like you're paying somebody for their influence, for their audience, not realizing that it's not them that built the audience. It was who they were posting that built the audience. And once that allure breaks down, now you got to look at, you don't even know how to grow this brand outside of leveraging the videos you've been posting that have nothing to do with anything. It just anytime you post this type of person or this type of product, the views go up. And just because somebody, specifically in social media, just because somebody knows how to get views doesn't mean that they know the analytics to grow your page to be able to generate you money.
You just made me itch because I want to do a whole bunch talking about that. But we got to move on to the next topic because
You sure do.
I done seen a whole lot of people out here talking that talk, but can't walk that walk. So go ahead, Mogul.
All right. And then our last one is hiring a salesperson.
I'm going to take the same approach. If you don't know what it is that you need them to sell, how do they sell, and what the high points of the sale, what makes it, what your ideal customer looking for, what the talking points are for that salesperson, what typically gets them over. And Dr. J, you can talk about this a little bit from, having the expertise you have in the insurance industry.
Yeah.
You probably couldn't tell me how many houses you went and sat down in, but you probably could tell me out of all the houses you went into, you could identify, especially towards the end, the house that you walk into based off certain things you heard, certain things you saw, certain vibes you got, certain questions asked that this probably wasn't going to be the person that closed based on your experience.
Yeah.
Am I right? So if you talking about hiring a salesperson and you don't know what it is you selling and what the strong points, weak point, key points is of what you selling, you probably don't need to be hiring. So if you in the same position as the person that Mogul was talking about hiring a marketing agency, if you in the same position as them, you probably shouldn't hire a salesperson unless you are really able to train that salesperson. Like maybe your strong suit is, I'm gonna say poots. Maybe your strong suit is sales, and you know exactly what needs to happen in sales. You know what the metrics are, what type of people you're looking for. If you know that, and you can train somebody on sales, then hiring another salesperson and splitting commissions with that salesperson might make sense. In the insurance industry, in the MLM industry, that's what it is you do. But in general business, if you are not able to train or articulate to the salesperson that you're hiring exactly what they're looking for, the ideal client, what the red flags are, what the green flags are, you probably shouldn't be hiring a salesperson. What you think?
I agree with you. You need to know what direction you need to take your sales team to. Like somebody has to be head of sales too. And if you're hiring somebody, that person's going to be you if it's your business.
People be like, I'm going to get me a VA and they're going to do all my selling. But you got to train the
like,
VA on your company, your code.
Yes.
You
know what I'm saying? Like what?
So
how do you want me to sell this product? What's the, what are the key points we lead with? Are we going to have a sales call once a week? Like what's the move? Because if you're just hiring to be hiring people, it's the same for marketing.
What are you doing?
Nah. So,
what you got, Doc?
If you need it and you got it put together, then smash. But if not, pass.
Y'all are correct. I've seen people build companies and organizations and agencies just recruiting a bunch of salespeople because they're trying to get the product sold and they're trying to override the business. But what happens 100% of the time is when the salesperson feels like they can outproduce you and that you need them in order to produce. Let me tell you something about stars or overachievers. We always test who we're under. It's just truth.
Facts.
People call it ego, but I call it figuring out my bearings. Even if you look at lions, everybody knows that the company logo is a lion.
I want y'all to come to me, Mogul, so they can see what it mean.
He said, "Come to me, logo."
Go ahead, Jake. I want them to know.
How can I say this? Even if in a pride there is a beta male, okay? The beta male is not never going to try the alpha male.
Wish you would.
That wouldn't make them a lion. However, the alpha male has to check the beta male to show, no, I'm still on point. And what happens is every alpha male starts off as a beta. Smaller, younger, less experienced, not as strong, not as agile, not as wise, not as experienced. But it's the testing of that alpha male, because I just want to see where I am, what I got to work on.
And I want to make sure that I'm following somebody who really cut like
Right. Because if I'm going to follow somebody, if you're going to get on me about producing, do you have a track record of producing?
Hello.
Can I see you put numbers on the board, the same numbers you asking me to produce?
Yeah.
And I can proudly say, in every organization that I've led, with many of the different leaders that I've had, even when I sat under certain leaders, I have always and still currently am the number one revenuing producer. And I make sure that that is known anytime any of my leaders want to flare up. It's not an ego thing, but it's to show that I'm not outdated. It's to show I'm still sharp. It's to show I'm still in tune. It's to show it still works. Because anybody who is great, if you want to build a team of great people, Coach Mulkey of LSU girls, they asked her, they said,
national champions.
They said, how do you deal with all of this? She said, personality. Yeah. She said, because I was a person of personality. I won championships on every level.
Period.
So I know the pedigree of somebody who's a winner.
That's what
Yeah.
it take.
And I know the room that a leader needs to be able to stretch their wings and do what they gotta do. Yeah. But I'm also like that too.
Yeah.
I added that piece. That was my translation. And what that is saying is that I'm not intimidated by your personality. I'm not intimidated by your greatness. However, I want you to know I'm about to smoke too.
Because Doc, right? If in your understanding and your come up, every leader that you ever had, every mentor you had, at some point you bucked up and you challenged them, right?
Yeah.
And in every situation, even if they had to put you back in your place, like you're really not ready yet. I know where you're trying to be, you're not ready, but it was a matter of respect, because they understand that, yeah, I did that, or I would have done the same thing, and that's what it takes. I know where he's trying to be. If you don't challenge that, then it's understanding that you're not willing to deal with the smoke that it takes to be in my shoes.
The only reason I'm not working for someone right now, here's the thing that people fail to realize. I wanted to work for somebody. Like, this is the thing. I've never thought because I work for somebody I wasn't going to be rich beyond imagination.
Right.
I've never constituted I need to be an entrepreneur to be rich.
Yeah.
That has never played a part in my life.
Right, because that's not even always true.
No, bro. Let's stop. Stop. I know people that work jobs right now that make more money than your famous entrepreneur.
Yeah.
With the blue checks for you can buy.
Listen. Dr. J. Taylor Jacobs loves team building so much because I wanted to be a part of a team.
Yeah.
I wanted to sit under somebody and get guidance and know that they the best at what they do because I could be next.
You an athlete. You always wanted a coach.
I always wanted that. I always wanted guidance.
I get it.
The reason why I left these organizations where I was second in command or third in command or the fourth on
Somebody
the pole
you didn't respect
was because I realized when I pushed against them, they wasn't what they portrayed themselves to be.
A small wind blows.
When I realized, wait a minute, the expectation you have of me to get to this position, you was given that position. So how can you properly train me for a position that you were never trained to be in? You were given it.
Yeah.
Or you said you had this many people in your organization. So I'm like, oh, you could teach me. Oh, yeah, you got the, oh, yeah. And then the closer I get to you, the more I realize it ain't even in the tens of thousands. This is like the 30 people.
Yeah.
So what happens is when people that are pretending like they are like that want to keep you as far away from them because they don't want you to see that by the time you get to the wizard, it's just somebody who's scared behind a machine.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Doc. When I smell weakness, I exploit it, bro.
So for me personally, the only reason this company is where it is because I constantly kept finding leaders who were not like that, like they portrayed themselves to be. That's it. I couldn't learn anymore. They got stagnant. They got comfortable. They got okay with it. And before I exploit and just goddamn, I'm going to leave and then I'm going to outproduce you and let you know I was him.
Right.
And when you're in that position and you are a leader and you find somebody that's really like that, you move out the way. You train them with what they're supposed to have, and then you become their tour guide to help them get to where it can take your organization to the next level. So when I tell people there's pretty much nothing in our organization that I can't do, I'm not willing to do, that I haven't done, it's because I want them to know in order to replace me, in order to beat me, you got to be like that.
In the words of Andrew Reese, you be telling folks, you're not cut like that.
You're not cut like that.
You're not cut like that.
You ain't built for it.
And so when you talk about that je ne sais quoi, if you will.
Yeah.
If you will.
Yeah.
I can outclose you.
Yeah.
I can outproduce you.
Yeah.
I can outcreate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can outdevelop you.
Yeah.
I can outlead you.
Yeah.
I can work longer, faster, more efficient. I'm in this game. I do this.
Yeah.
I study more than you. I read more than you.
Yeah.
So there's no way you can lead somebody that's outpacing you. You can't. You can't fake it. Before I hit 30 years old, 4 multiple 7-figure companies, 1 8-figure company, Forbes Business Council, Entrepreneur Magazine, Bloomberg.
Pop off.
Blue check before you can pay $14 for the blue check.
Hello.
Wasn't on social media February 22. Came on social media, blew it up.
Let's go.
Created 6 millionaires. A countless amount of 6-figure earners. By happenstance, directly, or just reading my information on the sly. Ain't no telling how many people came after me. 52 full-time staff. Highest paying a firm in the country at one point in time.
Oh.
Lost $3.5 million in 45 days. Put all chips back in, and goddamn, we run. put the team on my back and say, let's ride. All while still being a father. All while fighting for full custody of my daughter. All while losing my best friend to COVID. She died. All while losing my grandmother and my father. They passed away.
Grandfather.
And my grandmother.
I know you said your father.
They was like my father.
I know.
But let me be clear. All about my grandfather and my grandmother.
Yeah, context.
Nearly losing my father.
Yes.
Dang near died, had to get 3 organ transplants. I told nobody. You cannot outproduce somebody that's that committed to the job.
Period.
Can I come clean?
Yes.
Well, don't come dirty.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell at y'all.
No, you good. I want to come clean with explanation and context. So I just told you earlier that officially with this entity and what we're doing now and the mission that we on, officially I've crossed 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Not as being your friend, not as being committed to the mission, not as being having your back, not as developing everything that you've needed me for, I needed you for over the years, but officially, when it comes to officially getting everything in 2 years, bro. So I want to apologize for the energy I had when I first came on board, but I have to provide context. Listen. No, Chad, I'm dead serious. I know. That's why, Chad, I'm dead serious. This right here, like, gave me like that understanding, bro. Like, I know I was a knucklehead at first.
Most people are.
You know what I'm saying? Not from a space of just trying to do things my way, but I had no respect for people trying to lead me that ain't did what I did, bro.
Yeah.
I had a problem with somebody trying to tell me this not the way to do when you ain't did what you ain't been in the mud like me, bro. You ain't proved what I proven. You ain't helped nobody do what it is I help for. When I know that my brother is a reason that you have the opportunity to do certain things, bro. I have a problem with respecting that to my core. That's against who I am because I know the work I put in. Mm-hmm. I know the sacrifice that I done put in. I know the arguments you and I done been in order for me to get the education and the skill sets to develop that to be. So for somebody to just come and be in a position with a title to come and talk to me about producing, you can't talk to no producer about producer if you ain't producing. I had a problem with that, but I want to tell you that I apologize.
That was a bar.
I want to tell you that I apologize because it was an ego thing at that point. Mm-hmm. But also in that space, bro, it was an understanding of they not cut like that. And when balls to the wall, when things got to be rebuilt, when things got to be reconstructed, when you gotta tear everything back down to the foundation and rebuild from there, that's when it matters. That's when things come into play. So I had a problem with respecting somebody that didn't challenge. I had a problem with respecting somebody that didn't produce. I had a problem with somebody who was taking information that it was regurgitated. And I know it was regurgitated because where they were regurgitated from, I had studied.
I
already been through that. I had already been through that process. So I'm coming from a place, bro. I apologize for being a knucklehead, but also I wanted to provide context as to why I didn't respect the leadership because they couldn't lead me to a place that I ain't never been because they ain't never been where I was trying to go.
But let me say this, though. I've never said nothing.
No, you didn't.
No, but let me just say this.
You didn't, but that was I felt convicted.
No, let me say this. I feel that. I appreciate it. But let me tell you something. When you are a craftsman, like, here's the thing. I'm okay with being challenged. Just be okay with me challenging back. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like with Black Panther. Yeah. Anyone at any time can challenge the king to become the king.
Yeah.
And when you beat me, you gotta be that. But I can anytime challenge you back to get my throne.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as of the last 2 years, last year for sure, you've been by my side damn near every day. And you see the weight I carry. And the way I carry it.
I told you. I said, bro, what can I help you carry, bro? I got you. I got a strong back, bro. What you need?
The point I'm making is,
I don't respect motherfuckers that can't carry shit that I'm carrying.
Yeah. That's the point I'm making. You can't bring me an opinion of running something when the only thing you care about is paying your personal bills.
Yeah.
You can't talk to me about leadership when you trying to figure out why I ain't got paid on time. And I'm trying to figure out how can I pay 12 people on time plus make sure they family good.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So don't come to me with your personal issues when I can't even think of myself first.
If you're not willing to go ahead.
What clients have you brought to the table? Or do you keep taking your own clients, feeding yourself, but bringing nothing to the fold?
Yeah.
Because I share everything I kill. Every check comes through the merchant accounts that everybody shares.
Let's go.
I don't have a personal client. When I take speaking engagements, everybody eat on it.
Yeah.
When I take consultant clients, everybody eat on it. When I sell companies, everybody eat on it. And matter of fact, when I know that my leaders are hungry, I find deals and I give it to them and tell them eat. Don't worry. But let me be the one that tell you eat that one on your own. And what I find, bro, is that there are so many people when it comes to the dynamic of leadership. You're more of a hyena than you are a lion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's go.
You want to go in the corner and
That's
eat
the bar for the night.
You want to go in the corner and eat for yourself, but then come and eat and steal what I killed for the pride.
Yeah.
And that's just what that game is. And so if you want to replace me, you got to think like that, act like that, and move like that, which is why I really don't care what people say about me, because every day I lay my life on the line for everybody. So if you feel like you short on your check or we late on your check, you think you're the only one?
Yeah.
I'm closing some deals, but what deals are you bringing to the table for everyone to eat?
Let's go.
That's just how I
Say
think.
that. When you operate in goodwill, it's by law. The money comes by law. It don't come from Jake sealing the deal. It come from God. You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
God is your bank.
Listen.
That's a fact, dog.
We just had office hours earlier,
sure
right?
did. We
With our community, and I went in more in depth on goodwill. Bro, what people don't understand is that I am a big advocate of producing and being and operating in a space of goodwill. But I had to figure that out because I come from a space of not having no money.
Yeah.
And so me not having no money, I had to figure out what else I could provide aside from money. Mm-hmm. What other value could I bring to the table aside from money? Then is when I understood that perspective, okay, I don't got money, but I got to bring value to the table and I can be valuable outside of money. I started doing that. Then I realized that people appreciated that. And the majority of people that I provided this goodwill to the service to came back around, circled back, doubled the block, spit the block to come back around to figure out how they could service me. And so with everything that I've been through, everything that I've built up, all the tears that I've cried, I can't bring myself to respect nobody and what it is that I do if you ain't did the same thing. Right? You can't read some shit to get the same experience. Nick, you done been through it where you done posted something and it done help somebody. We talk about all the time the highlights of what it is that you do and how it's help companies. How you done help the company go from 0 to 5 million, help multiple brands go to $1 million.
Yeah.
We haven't yet talked about the company that you done helped. That they ain't said nothing to you.
Right.
The stuff you ain't posted to help the company.
Yeah. Next Tuesday is the Nick show.
Yeah. I talked about. I told Nick today. I said, Nick, don't post that because look, we ain't doing that. You like right. Yeah, I'm gonna just post it here. But that's understanding. Like, there's a certain trade off, and so we were talking about hiring a salesperson. I know Mogul, we got off into it, whatever.
I got about 2 more minutes.
Yep. But the thing, I'm finna turn it back over to you right after this, and can't nobody say nothing after me.
Dang.
Hey, I got something to say.
You can't. Otherwise, I'm gonna. No. Let me finish. I'm finna finish.
He's in the middle. He's.
I'm not. No.
Hey, you never stop a lion when he's hunting. Just let him
because
hunt.
the line was gonna stop itself. Because I was finna say,
I agree with you.
No, you not.
Okay.
What I was finna say is, I'm gonna shut up. Nick, go ahead.
I'm gonna just say that abundance, money, it comes in different shapes and forms. After they stop laughing,
this your turn.
All right, money. All right. Money comes in different shapes and forms.
Absolutely.
Abundance comes in different ways. So just because you may not have been receiving a check, you did receive an ABS jacket. You did receive a whole bodysuit. You did receive an office to work out of. Just like me, I've received an office that I don't have to pay bills on. Electricity that I don't have to pay bills on. You know, Wi-Fi I don't have to pay bills on. You know what I'm saying? So although the money doesn't, like, you can't feel it, you utilizing it every single day. You're getting paid, whether it's directly or indirectly.
That's
so
good.
abundance
That's
comes in all shapes and forms.
She in her bag.
You just have to be able to recognize what abundance, what you're asking for.
I've
been asking God for an office for a long time, and here came one of my friends for over a decade and said, hey, I got an office space for you. It's just so happened to be available, and I got 5 knuckleheads who ain't using it. You know what I mean? So if you want that space, it's yours. And I was like, thank you, God. I actually cried about it because I've been trying to get an office space for a long time, just not to be working at the house. You know what I mean? So to me, that's abundance, because I could be paying Jake $1,500 a month for it if he wanted to. You know what I mean? So just look at your abundance in many different ways and don't get stuck on just receiving $1, because you get blessed in any other ways. If you don't have to pay for something, that's equivalent to money.
Yeah, that is money, like you said. That's like, yeah, that is money. This is what I would say. I'll say this like that. The reason I'm gonna close it. The reason why we brought all of that up when we talked about sales is because so many people trying to get out the hot seat because they don't want to master the seat. That's it. You want everyone to do the thing that you don't want to do because you don't want the pushback and the lashback of the thing. So you make everyone else do the dirty work that you don't want to do. So my father told me when I was growing up, and this is I'm gonna be a little bit more thuggish on this. He said, "Son,
it's
never."
The thuggish rugged.
He said, "Son, never ask anybody to do that work
that you're not willing to do.
That you're not willing to do yourself. You don't call somebody to do work. You call them to protect you as you do work."
Let's go.
Yeah.
And I took that in business. Thank the Lord of our host. I took that in business the same exact way. And the truth is, there's a lot of people who have employee commitment, but
Yikes.
you want the entrepreneur's freedom.
Yikes.
Go ahead, Mowgli.
You got it.
Well, we're going to go into, because we do have to go soon, we're going to go into our back end fail, and then we're going to call it a night.
Let's go.
And our back end fail is a little funny. We have all been people that are fond of do-it-yourself experiments because at times it saves money and typically, saves time, gives you something to do. But not for the Australian man. In a bizarre incident, a man from Mount Isa in Queensland, Australia, was fed up with the cockroaches that he ended up exploding his house while trying to spray cockroaches in the kitchen using insect spray and a flamethrower. He must have had thoughts that it's It was big enough a deal to eradicate the 6-legged, spiny leg insect, however he failed doing so. Queensland Fire and Emergency Services said the man suffered burns and cuts to his head and his arms and his hands from the explosion. The explosion also caused the windows to shatter and significant damage to the kitchen walls in the house. Strangely enough, this wasn't the first time. 6 months prior, he did the same thing trying to get rid of spiders.
Wait, he blew up his house
Twice.
Wait.
Twice?
How do you find this stuff? Dude, where do you find this stuff, dude?
Online.
He said online.
He failed.
So he blew his house up twice.
In 6 months.
Yeah. I think
First from spiders,
that insurance
then cockroaches.
He the back end failed, the front end failed, the side end failed, the failed.
Yeah, no, he got an insurance place.
You know, I don't know if that was a back end fail. He might be doing it the right way.
Listen.
He sound like a lot of club owners in Dallas.
Facts. Hey, club go down. Oh, we had a
if the
fire.
fail don't go on him, it go on his insurance adjuster because they didn't catch the finesse.
Look, he sound
Because
like
he's
a
straight
lie.
finessing.
Sound
He's straight
familiar.
finesse.
He's
That was a good one, Mo.
That was a good one.
What we got next?
All right, and we have our last one. And these ones, I want you guys to just give me three. So I'm going to say the three most blase blah. So for Jake, the three most must-knows for dealing with investors.
Must know.
Only three. Don't got to go all the way into it.
K-N-O-W or must know N-O?
Okay.
3 quick ones.
Must knows. Do your due diligence. Never invest into anything with anyone that's not willing to explain it or teach you their process of how they're finding the deal. 3, never invest your last into an opportunity that may or may not last.
Good.
All right, Iggy.
Me? No, go to Nick.
All right.
You can't put the lady
Nick,
last.
You always put me last, by the way.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Because you close it
get
out
on.
really well.
Oh, you do that.
What you do that for?
He said
Because you close it out well.
Aw, thanks.
You do close it out pretty good, though.
So, Nick,
I'll
3
take the
social
best
media no-nos.
Okay. 3 social media no's. 1, do not skip the quality. Can't do it. Do not claim. Okay, in the words
Look,
of
you believe in that because you got on our
yes, you
tail
got-
about
yes,
that.
you
You
just
like,
got on Iggy about that.
yesterday she like,
why your fingers so sticky on the
Yep,
lens.
fingerprints.
All
Nope.
right. And then 2, in the words of Gary Vee, do not claim to be the expert, be the enthusiast, because there are no rules to social media.
That's good.
You know, so stop claiming to be, I'm the expert in this, that, and the third. Like, just do what you do
I feel
and get
that.
good. Learn from your mistakes, you know, and build from that and just become the enthusiast. Don't claim to be something that you're not, because when there's a problem and you ain't got the answer, we looking at you like, are you even the expert? So
Is you who you say you is?
claim,
You ain't.
just be the enthusiast. And then overall, number 3, do not forget why you started in the first place. Your why will always reel you back in if you get lost. So if you find yourself steering far away from why you first started, just remember why you got started in the first place.
Look, Nick, with
pretty good,
that, I love that. So being somebody who's in the marketing space, but having somebody like who's an enthusiast when it comes to social media and content creation,
Yes.
it's so much that I'll be like, yep, I understand like the psychology of marketing, but that's how you implement it. And yes,
Yes, sir.
yes,
It's the
good
dream
stuff.
team.
And,
I hope you got some good like that for me.
and Iggy, 3 ad/marketing myths.
All right, so I just want to bring into context that you have not marketing 3 ad myths.
Yeah.
It's not myths. On the
Myths.
I just wanted to bring in context for you, Mo.
Yeah, I
It
was
doesn't
wondering.
say myths.
I was thinking it was short for methods.
Yeah, there we go. 3. All right, so
Hey! I was moving fast.
yeah,
only
I
got one
got you. But I just
I got
want
one
to
eye.
let you
He
know.
only got one eye.
Yeah, look, your one eye need
The
to
E and the Y.
identify.
I see what you did there.
Oh shit.
So look, the first one out of the 3, the biggest one is that paid advertising or marketing delivers immediate results. That is an absolute myth, especially from the paid advertising perspective.
Okay.
Which is why I'm so hell bent on making sure that you have an infrastructure in place, from processing the leads to tracking the leads, to be able to deliver what it is need to deliver for whatever leads, whatever customers. Pay advertising delivering immediate results is absolutely false. It's absolutely false. So if anybody is coming to you telling you that you can pay them to run ads and they're going to deliver you immediate results, it's sketch. Second thing, pay advertising marketing big campaigns is only for big brands. That is absolutely false. In today's world, we are in, for like the past 7 to 10 years, we've been in a space of decentralization, meaning removing one source of being the provider to decentralize. The biggest thing has been information, and the biggest proponent of that has been the internet. Internet, social media allows the average person, the average business owner, the average creator, the average individual to be able to connect directly with their consumer market to be able to grow. So pay advertising, what I like to call it performance advertising, is available to everybody. No matter if you've never started a company before, if you've never sold anything before, or if you sold billions of dollars worth of products. Paid advertising is available for you. The third and final thing is paid advertising is expensive and not worth the cost. That is absolutely completely false. If you have the organic understanding and database, the same way I was giving fails to the marketing agency and the salesman based on you knowing what it is you need to train them on or teach them on so they can execute. If you are believing that it's not worth the money or it's too expensive, you probably need to dig a little bit deeper. Pay advertising is absolutely worth it. You need a system, an offer, and a processing procedure in place so that you can make sure that all the marketing that you do, you can fulfill the results of that marketing. Because if you have a great marketing campaign, a great advertising campaign, and it's producing $10,000 a month in sales, but your company is only able to fulfill $2,500 a month, you gonna receive that $10,000 in revenue for a month or two. But then when a negative word starts getting out about how you unable to fulfill it, it's gonna challenge you. So it's not just for big brands, and if you believe it's not worth the cost, then you have to shift. No, it's only three. Pay advertising is not worth the cost. Pay advertising only for big brands, and pay advertising guarantees big results. It's only three. I just expounded about it, give it context based on like my little brother. I was giving context like my big brother has taught me to do.
And the word of the day is context.
You feel me? Giving context. So you have to understand. I just want to be able to finish my
egregious.
point. That is absolutely egregious. I didn't interrupt neither one of y'all.
I didn't say nothing.
You did. You lying.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to give context on my 3 points.
I apologize.
That's all.
I apologize.
That's it. I'm done, Mogul.
All
Gosh,
right. I want to say thank you all for watching. Just make sure that you like, share, comments, and send us to
I'm
somebody.
finna give you hell on all the context you provide, doctor.
Also, we want to say thank you for almost getting us to 10,000. Once you get us to 10,000, let me mute them real quick. Once you get us to 10,000, we will do something special for you guys where we have about 5 to 6 of you send us in your business plan or your business. We'll look it over. At 10,000, we will do that, yes. And we'll give you 15 minutes of basically us showing you exactly what you need to do to further your business. So it's going to be 5 minutes of you telling us what it is and 10 minutes of us just giving you just So make sure you like, comment, share, send this out to as many people as you can because we love you. There's nothing you can do about it. So that is the Private Banking Society. We'll be back next week.
Let's buy some land and build a family, that's a grown-up flex. And see a black man winning and get so upset. This is generational, inspirational, integrative though. On the rise vertically, working like I ain't made it though. This is for my people, locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching, nails trying lock and kiss. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge our cash. We was talking about the